So that speech kind of led me to want to talk about a lot of emails that I've been getting from people asking about this kind of Earth 1 and Earth 2. They're asking about different people putting out kind of doomsday videos that I would deem kind of doomsday videos, kind of saying, these horrible things are coming, or certain, you know, different things on different charts and stuff that are coming out that this horrible thing is going to happen, or that the world ending and stuff, and to me this is very, clearly we're in a dark time, right? We're clearly in a dark time where it's the dark ages of our time. We are seeing a pandemic, we are seeing civil unrest, we are seeing economic hardship, we are seeing in America specifically, we're seeing horrible leadership. We're seeing, horrible racism. Clearly, we're in a dark age, right? We're in a dark time but it isn't for nothing. Everything is being brought to the forefront. And I was thinking as I was watching Barr that I wish that I didn't know anything about these people, about Epstein and Barr and Eric Prince and DeVos and all these awful, human beings doing awful things. I wish I didn't even know about it. But we have to. We've got to know it, to see it, to deal with it, to heal from it, and then to move on. We have to do that. It's so hard and it's so ugly to have to face, and yet we have to. We've got to know it's there. Otherwise, it won't be rooted out. And now is the time. And we talked about a long time ago about this unearthing that was going to take place. And believe me, when I said it, just like when I talked about people and animals leaving the earth in groups, I had no idea the bigness of it when I said it, but I was given the message. And when it talked about unearthing, it was talking about bringing out all of the kind of ugliness we were kind of, not all of us were aware of. Clearly, African Americans were understood that they had a more difficult time with the police. But white people, including myself, didn't have that experience. So until we actually were able to see it, and see it in such a stark way, it finally got through our skulls with George Floyd. You can see why that happened. All of a sudden, boom. Everybody was at home. They had to see it. They watched it over and over again. It clicked. They got it. And that's what's happening with all of these stories, whether it's sex trafficking, which is horrible, whether it's, sexism in, film and in different industries, whether it's, different kinds of abuse, different kinds of inequality. It's all being, and corruption, the corruption, and it's all being kind of laid bare at our feet. And so this is what's happening right now. So the world feels like, what's good in it? So it's like all this stuff. What do we do? And so it has that feel of just like it feels dark. It feels dark, but it isn't without purpose. And so, and that's what this is all about. And it's not really about the dark part. It's about coming out of it. It's about seeing it, knowing that it's there finally, doing something about it, healing from it, and moving on to do something better. But that's where we are, and it's part of our evolution. It's part of, and how do I know that? Because I know it from readings I've had, from my own experiences, my own guides, and from spiritual teachers that I've been listening to for years. And it's time. This is the time. And part of that, what's been pushing it, is our need to fix the environment and save the earth, save mankind, save ourselves. And so this is all kind of coming out, and it has eked out, over decades and decades and decades. But when we don't do anything about it, it gets buried and it has to come out again. And so right now we've reached a critical mass. We've reached a critical time. And so this is all coming out. Here it is. And we need to deal with it and fix it. And aside from that, what is also happening is through this pandemic, worldwide, through economic understanding and empathy for each other and for how things can happen to people that are not their fault. I think that's a big thing with the United States in particular, because we're raised with this idea that if you just work hard, you get what you want. And it's just not the case. It's just not the case. We don't start in the same position, all of us. We don't have the same life experience. So we need to help one another. And so that's something the United States is learning right now, is that we need to help each other to get out of this. And we're learning, some of us are learning the hard way, and some of us are doing it. So that's what this is kind of about. And it's two things happening, right? It's this unearthing so we can deal with it, learn from it, heal from it, move on. And then there's this kind of shift that we've been talking about, this awakening of a lot of people, particularly in the United States, because the United States is meant to lead some of these efforts. And so, and other countries too, but the United States is one of them, and a big one, a big country to help lead. So we're having this kind of mass awakening for a lot of people, where we are realizing how important connection is, and how we are all connected, and how we are our brother's keeper. We do need to help each other and take care of each other, and how much we need each other, and how much we need connection with each other. It's all these really beautiful lessons being learned through these horrible circumstances. And like I said, Spirit is very good at doing that, at taking an awful, you can see it in your own life, I'm sure, at least once, where something horrible has really led to something that either taught you something beautiful or led you to something beautiful. And that Spirit is very good at leading us in those directions. So this is going to lead somewhere very, very good. And our job kind of right now is to help each other through it, to awaken ourselves to know that this is what's happening, and we're part of it, and to be a witness to it, to do what we can, if we can do something. So that's kind of how this is shaking out right now. Okay, so we have this kind of dark time, a lot of people shifting and moving into a different consciousness or different understanding of how things are, and evolving basically as spirit beings. They're just evolving. And then along with that, you have this idea of Earth 1 and Earth 2. And so that's what people keep asking me about. And so I'm going to give it a go one more time, okay? And there are people who believe like this is two separate places. Just through my experience of living through this time, and those were people that didn't live through this time. So they were, like Nostradamus and, other people. I don't know if he was one of them, but they're, Dolores Cannon and people, they kind of take their information where they got it. And so living through this time, I've seen it a little bit differently. I've seen it a little bit more like Eckhart Tolle, which is that it won't actually be two earths, like two different places, like the rapture. It won't be like that. So he was very nervous about that. It's not like the rapture. We're seeing it now. You're seeing it in people who are, if you look at, and I won't say Karen videos, somebody called me on that, I won't say Karen videos, but videos where you see people losing their minds about, and getting so upset about a small thing, a mask, and saying it's, our rights and whatever. You can see it in the people around them where they're kind of just getting on with stuff, realizing, okay, we need to do this. I care about you and you care about me, so we're going to wear a mask so we don't spread this, or we're working together, and there's this communal feel. And then there's this person who's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I don't want to be part of this. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so you've got this group of people on Earth 1 and this person that's still kind of not quite there. And it shouldn't be looked down on. It can be annoying. I'm sure it can be annoying. It shouldn't be something looked down on, because I just feel like it is where they are in their life experience, and they will be brought along eventually. They will come along eventually. They just will. Something that has kind of trapped people in Earth, we'll say, Earth 2, I guess, is, like Fox News, places that deliberately give people reasons to be fearful and reasons to be, paranoid, fearful, mad, angry. And so those are kind of places where these people will maybe get information for a while, but even that will kind of dissipate after a while. But for a while, it was going to be kind of like two different worlds. And it's funny, even like Rachel Maddow, she's talked about like Earth 1 and Earth 2, and it is like that. But to me, it's more of a consciousness state. It's more of an understanding. It's not so much two different places. It's more of a way of thinking, a way of being. And interacting with your fellow man. That's more what it is to me, and how I come to see it after living through it. You can see it happening. It's fascinating to see. And what you kind of have to do, in my opinion, is just understand that they're just not there yet. Not in a way like, oh, peon, get with it. Not like that. Just that their life experience, what they listen to and watch and stuff has kind of kept them in this state of not really being in the same consciousness that we're in. So that's what's happening, and they will eventually come along. They'll have to. So it's okay. Eventually we will all be there. So that's kind of how I see it. And I thought I would kind of end on the note that we heard from when we did the reading with Martin Luther King Jr., was that he talked about the fact that we would be seeing leaders, different kinds of leaders, and the way we knew who to follow in these times was, you want to follow, and you can go back and look at that video, but he talks about following people that are talking about connection, cooperation, things like that, living in love and respect, things like that. And then the ones that are the ones not to follow are the ones talking about fear and hate and division. And you could see, if you wanted to take two perfect examples of that, it would be Barack Obama and his speech, and then any speech given by Donald Trump. So that's how we know. And I would really, really, really ask you to be very, very careful about the things during this time that you subject yourself to. Because although you may watch something and think, oh, I'm not sure about that or whatever, things that are that carry a fearful or a mean or divisive message, fear-based message, that really pay attention to how you feel after you watch it, how you feel when you're watching it. Look at their demeanor, their expressions. And of course we have our free will, so do what you want. But because I keep getting these emails, I just want to give you this this advice. And as an empath, especially if you are an empath, you're going to pick up on these things even more. And so be aware of that too, that you could be an empath and you pick up on it even more. So you get off a video and feel really afraid or really nervous when you listen to people touting this stuff. Keep in mind that I am not saying at all that people can't get messages that are of a scarier, thing. I mean, we get those things all the time. I get messages about storms and things like that. But the way it will be kind of delivered is in a way not to make us afraid. It's usually a way to make us prepared, let us be aware, let us know, so that we have kind of a heads up. And also keep in mind that they have to be delivered through a person. So although I'm the telephone, I am still a person. So when I get the message, I get the message, I see what I see, hear what I hear, feel what I feel, and then I have to deliver it. And in that delivering, if I say I'm having a really, really bad day, or a really, really, bad life, or I'm scared myself, it may come out in a more fearful tone. So it's not that the message is wrong, but be careful of how things are delivered, because they still are delivered through people. And these people have opinions. They have maybe their own life experiences, their own way of looking at things. I use the example of the guy who kind of saw, tanks and like Chinese and Russian tanks on, in November, and that they would, be all around Washington, and there'd be these things that had, the money breaks down, and all these things happening. And if I explained how him getting those messages, maybe that's just the way he's seeing it. He's taking it more literally, and he's just saying, this is what I'm seeing. It's making me afraid, or it's making me worried, or I think it could be this because of things he's read and he's experienced. If I got that message, I would think it was more symbolic. I just wouldn't go to that kind of fear place right away, because that's not the relationship I have with my guides. And I know that. That is not saying that what he's seeing could not be, there's truth to it. And so because I don't want to discredit anybody. I think, like I said, we all get information. We all can get information all the time. But be aware that people do have to filter it. And sometimes in that filter, your own feelings, your own biases, we all do it. We all do it. And so just know that that's what happens, okay? I do want to end on, I hope this isn't a bad note to end on, but this Ghislaine, those transcripts came out, and I wanted to let you guys know that I do see a few things, okay? And I'm gonna temper this by just saying exactly what I saw, because I don't want to feed my own feelings into it, but I have some icky feelings about a couple of people. I did hear a gunshot. I did see that vision of somebody being thrown out a window. I just want to let you know that. And so I don't know what that is tied to, and I don't want to interpret too much, because there's such violent things. I don't really want to interpret too much about them, but I just want you to be aware that I was seeing that, and that there's going to be some drama around this as things come out and as facts come out. I do see the Queen being completely heartbroken about this thing with Andrew, that it has been very hard on her. I even think it's hurt her health. So I want you to be aware of that. I think it has been, I literally hear the phrase that it's broken her heart. So I just want to let you guys know that. And I don't want to end on like this really dark note, but I hope that there's enough positive stuff out there. I just want you to be aware of the news that may be coming from this stuff, and to kind of, if you can, look at it without judging it, because I feel like some stuff is a little overblown, and some stuff is absolutely true. I don't know if Bill Clinton has been mentioned. With him, I always see it as being more money-based than like, which is weird for him. And maybe I'm filtering it wrong, but I see him being more involved with like having taken money from Epstein, which is still disgusting and still not good. But I see that as more the case with him. And the others, I'm choosing not to see any specific acts or anything like that, just because it's hard for me, and it's hard for me to be objective at that point. So my guides are being very careful about what I'm seeing and what I'm not seeing. So I know that my information is going to be patchy through this storyline, but I do see, and I do also see somebody stepping down from the White House, a big betrayal coming for Trump at some point, a big betrayal. And I feel like it cuts very deep with him, and it's a teachable moment for him. Let's just put it that way. It's kind of a big deal to him, and it cuts deep. And when you live this kind of life, and you run with these kind of people who are like him, they don't have a lot of loyalty, and they're looking out for themselves, then you have to kind of expect this kind of stuff, and for it to come back and bite you and be kind of karmic. It's the way karma, at least on this plane, this is how it works, So, okay. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I am almost done with my first class. And so I think we are going to be ready to go maybe by even like the middle of September, which would be great. If you are interested in taking classes, the actual name of the class is called Spirit Communication and Development for Beginners. That's the name of the class. So if it's something you're interested in, I'm going to be sending you out my website. in about a week. To those who have signed up for the classes, you can go on the website and see all about the classes, all about the pricing, everything, so you can kind of plan ahead for September, because I know it's a weird time for everybody. So you can see what's offered, what is going to be in the classes. I have kept it very inexpensive because I want it to be accessible to you guys. And you can add on a mentoring session if you want to, but you do not have to. It should all be in the classes. But if you need like personal input and personal, verification for things you're getting or things that you want to expand on or whatever, you can add a mentoring session. When I send you the website, you won't be able to do anything yet. It's just information. So you can go on the website and look at everything and just kind of plan all of the downloadable classes and being able to sign up for a mentoring session to be able to pay. That will be in September. Okay, so I hope that is clear. If you're interested, if you have any questions at all, send me an email at intuitiview@gmail.com. If you need a reading right away, go to my sister. I highly recommend her. She reads for me. She is wonderful. She usually records them. I think she does do live ones as well, but I like having a recording because you can go back and stuff that doesn't jump out right away will jump out later, because that's how your spirit guides work. They look at the long term, so it's kind of a fun way to do it. But her name is Kris, and she's at Cardvoyant.com, and she has a channel called Cardvoyant Kris. We have videos together where we talk about different things. She's very kind, very sensitive, very caring, and she is wonderful at what she does. She reads for Cassie and I, and she has for years. Okay, take a deep breath. Don't worry about Donald Trump. He's going to be gone. We're going to be rid of him. He will be yesterday's news. I did have one idea for you guys to look at, which really helped me. There's these videos on YouTube and I'll have a link to one in the description. You can look at them, but they're for different years. And we looked at 1982, and they have for all different years. I'm going to watch all of them, but they are showing like all of the things that happened in a year. And what it did for me, and hopefully it will do this for you, is to remind you how transitory history is and how transitory all this stuff is. It really is, this too shall pass. It really is that kind of reminder. And so I felt compelled to let you know that, it's a very helpful to remember that this too shall pass. It seems like it is, this has Donald Trump has invaded our world like no other leader. And it's so invasive in our daily lives that it's really good to be able to kind of be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, that was such a big deal. Oh, well, oh yeah, we heard about that every day. And now it's like I completely forgot it. It really is a good reminder of how history just moves on, and we will get through these very, very difficult times. I promise you, okay? Have a great weekend. I am sorry this video is so long. It may be put in 2 parts because I don't know. It's just kind of long, but break it up as you wish. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.